Congratulations pour in as Deion Sanders' mother reacts to 397 lb Colorado coach's weight loss journey. A story of resilience, faith, and inspiration. For months, the Colorado Buffaloes football program carried an air of mystery and unease. Fans whispered questions in the stands and on social media timelines. Where is Coach Prime? Why isn't he on the field as often? The truth eventually emerged in heartbreaking fashion. Deion Sanders, the charismatic face of Colorado football, was quietly battling bladder cancer. In the process, Sanders shed 25 pounds. For a man once nicknamed Prime Time, the transformation brought back memories of his Atlanta Falcons days. I'm thankful. It's been a tremendous journey. It's been tough, Sanders admitted. I think I dropped 25 pounds. I was like Atlanta Falcon Prime at one point. But unbeknownst to many, Sanders wasn't the only one walking this road of transformation. Standing just a few feet away on the Buffalo sideline was another man fighting a deeply personal battle with his health. Assistant offensive line coach George Hegman. At 52 years old, Hegman had lived the highs of an NFL career and the weight of years spent battling his own body. And then, like Sanders, he chose to fight back. His journey wasn't just about football. It was about reclaiming life. The Instagram post that shocked and inspired. On September 2nd, George Hegman stunned Colorado fans when he posted a photo to Instagram. It wasn't of the field or his players or a practice drill. It was of a weighing scale. The number read 397.6 pounds. For most, that number might not mean much. But for Hegman, it was a milestone 2 decades in the making. In his caption, he wrote, "That number might not mean much to most, but to me, it means everything. I haven't seen a 3 in front of my total weight since 2003. That's over 2 decades of fighting, falling, getting back up, and pushing forward." The honesty struck a chord. Social media erupted with congratulations. Messages poured in from fans, colleagues, and players alike. But the most meaningful came from someone who knows what it means to watch a loved one fight. Deion Sanders' mother, Connie Knight. To her, Hegman's story mirrored her son's. A story of resilience, faith, and determination against odds. George Hegman, from NFL lineman to life mentor. Hegman's football story deserves its own spotlight. At NC State, he became a freshman All-American before being selected in the 3rd round of the NFL draft. His pro career included a coveted Super Bowl ring with the Dallas Cowboys. While he never reached the Hall of Fame heights of Deion Sanders, his NFL resume was filled with grit, consistency, and respect. But like so many former players, life after football wasn't easy. Weight gain crept in. Health battles became harder. Years went by where the numbers on the scale felt like chains instead of a challenge. Hegman's coaching career mirrored his resilience. From serving as the executive director of Truth Athletics for 5 years to working at IMG Academy in Florida, he dedicated himself to shaping young athletes. When Colorado brought him on in 2024 as Director of Leadership and Engagement, it was a perfect fit. Deion valued Hegman not just for his coaching skills, but for his ability to connect with players on a deeper human level. That trust was rewarded this spring when Sanders promoted him to assistant offensive line coach, a position that came with a significant salary jump from $100,000 to $250,000. The raise reflected not only Hegman's football acumen but also the leadership he brought to a program in transition. A 100-day challenge, rebuilding mind, body, and spirit. On July 21st, Hegman launched what he called his 100-day challenge. It wasn't about rapid results or quick fixes. Instead, he focused on realigning his mind, body, and spirit. His daily Instagram updates became a diary of determination. On day 1, he wrote about centering himself. By day 7, he posted about small victories. By day 27, he shared photos of a 5-mile trek in the mountains, captioning it with a simple but powerful message: "Don't rush. One step at a time." Fans became invested. They weren't just watching a coach lose weight. They were witnessing a man peel back the layers of his struggle and invite the world into his process. One fan commented, Small thing to a giant who is consistently in the word and executing daily. Salute. Another wrote, "Great job. I have really enjoyed watching your journey on social media. It keeps me inspired and love the way you give all the glory to God." It was clear that Hegman's battle was no longer just his own. It had become a shared story of hope for thousands following along. The Sanders connection, a shared journey. Deion Sanders' health battle had already forced Colorado to confront the fragility of life beyond football. For months, fans worried about their head coach. They feared the worst. And then, they witnessed something miraculous. Sanders walking, smiling, and even joining his staff on daily walks as part of his recovery. Hegman, inspired by Sanders' persistence, leaned on that energy. Together, they became unlikely partners in accountability. If Sanders, fighting cancer, could walk and rebuild strength, then Hegman could too. The sight of Sanders and Hegman walking together wasn't just symbolic. It was a reminder that leadership comes not only through words but also through example. Fans rally behind the coach. Colorado fans, still reeling from the Buffs' struggles on the field, found a new reason to cheer. Hegman's journey became a rallying cry. One fan wrote, "Congratulations! You've been doing amazing work within and with others. You're so dope." Another added, "Embrace the grind. Love it." And then came a message that underscored the ripple effect of his story. "You've inspired me to get out of my comfort zone and start walking every day. Thank you for showing us it's possible." Even players joined in. Quarterback Ryan Staub sent Hegman a message. "Let's go coach, oncoming fist medium light skin tone." For Staub and his teammates, seeing their offensive line coach grind daily provided an unspoken lesson in discipline. Beyond the scale, a bigger mission. Though Hegman now proudly stands under 400 pounds, his journey is far from over. In his own words, "The road ahead is long, but I'm locked in, and I promise you, I'm not stopping here. Let's see just how far we can keep pushing." Oncoming fist dark skin tone. For Hegman, the scale is just a checkpoint, not the destination. His mission is about longevity, health, and the ability to show others, young players, fans, and even strangers scrolling Instagram, that change is always possible, no matter how long the fight. Why it resonates: the power of transparency. In the age of highlight reels and curated perfection, Hegman chose vulnerability. He showed his setbacks. He posted his struggles. He let people into his journey when it wasn't glamorous. That transparency made his story relatable. Fans didn't just see a coach losing weight. They saw themselves, their battles with fitness, their broken resolutions, their small wins, and their constant need for hope. And when Connie Knight, the mother of Deion Sanders, pressed like on his post, it felt like a generational blessing. She had watched her son fight back from sickness and surgeries. Now she watched another man he cared about fight his own battle with the same heart. Conclusion: more than a number, more than a game. George Hegman's weight loss journey is not just about football or coaching or even the number on the scale. It's about resilience. It's about choosing to rise after decades of falling. It's about faith, community, and the unyielding power of persistence. For the Colorado Buffaloes, this season may be defined by growing pains and challenges on the field. But off the field, their program is already winning in inspiration, in courage, and in the daily grind of men like Deion Sanders and George Hegman. As fans continue to follow Hegman's journey, one thing is certain. This story will be remembered not for pounds lost, but for lives changed. Because when a man decides to fight, he doesn't just move the scale. He moves the world around him.